So in this video, we'll be playing 3 levels, which really show the variety of the quality of the levels.
Sorry.
This first one is the worst of them. Although we did get a very interesting upgrade for Toshi there. When you're using Toshi's ultimate now, the lightning bolts or the laser bolts will reflect off of surfaces once. And we could later, I think we could later get an upgrade to do so twice. We also got Massacre for James, which increases his the speed of his wheel saw cutting. You know what, this is really great design, putting what's effectively an audio log right next to a combat area, so you can't hear it over all the destruction.
And of course you can't see shit because there's that thing in the way.
The invasion of Coastal City. From where I am, I can see a convergence of machines on the eastern outskirts. Just outside of town where the infamous bell yards lie, I can see what appears to be a red glow, pulsing like a giant heart.
God damn it, Toshi!
Closer and report on our findings. Stay tuned to CSRB.
And that's a good way to have a dead CSRB.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, this guy's basically Peter McDonald from Metal Wolf Chaos. He's extremely dedicated to his craft.
I mean, Peter McDonald was extremely dedicated to his propaganda machine.
He eventually saw his ways, and also he cannot be killed, no matter how many times you shoot down his helicopter.
Well, yeah, but he did spend his entire career in Metal Wolf Chaos tonguing the president's ass.
And this is one of the few bits of pop culture we get to see in this universe. A film poster for Return of a Toaster Man.
Well, at least we know that Warhammer 40k will never have traction in this world because of the fact that all the toasters are evil.
Okay, I'll assume that if you're familiar with 40k, that joke makes sense.
I'll give you context later.
This is another level that it has multiple paths. In fact, it is explicitly called a maze at several points. And there's another funny death coming up here, along with one of several sassy quotes from Lisa.
Hey, awesome!
I like to think that she was making fun of me when she said that.
I mean, she probably should.
Yeah, if anyone... Also, yeah, don't ride up on the red doors, because they do have the relevant amount of physics. And, I mean, I guess in certain situations you might be able to get a combo going there. This is the Mega Goon.
Okay, I like that it actually killed the little scraplet.
Yeah. The Mega Goon is, in theory, a tougher version of the Charging Goon. But it still cannot beat a shotgun.
I like how it spawned in for the cutscene and then warped to the other side of the room.
Yeah. Also, I've demonstrated this a couple of times throughout the LP. If you are on flat ground, you could just hold back on the left stick and do infinite wheelies.
You still think it was a good idea, Randy?
Well, it certainly looked like one at the time.
See, Randy is better than Toshi because Randy owns up to his mistakes.
We're trapped.
I like Randy the more and more time I spend with him.
Oh no, someone put boards over the front of the elevator. Of course we're trapped. Fuck off, Toshi.
Toshi, buzzsaw.
Yeah, although I will say from a gameplay perspective, I think Toshi has the best moveset of the 4 protagonists. He's the most, not the most durable, but he's the most versatile. The junk pet is really useful for killing enemies from a distance when you don't have guns. I guess a fully upgraded James might be better, but overall, Toshi is the best character of the 4. Yeah, sure, shoot behind you and not at the floater who's directly in front of your face, Randy. Anyway, the secret's off to the left here. As is another hidden jukebox.
that tune is familiar, but it's not the one I'm thinking of.
No, every jukebox in this game plays the Hoovering by the 568s. It's all the same song. They couldn't afford more than one music license.
I can't wait until they lose their license and they have to make it some generic crap.
Well, yeah, these guys do not have the budget of Remedy. They can't just get the license back again and re-upload the game after having to pull it. Although the particular album that's from, I don't think it ever released outside of Japan, possibly in Europe, but my attempts to find it have proven futile.
I mean, let's be fair, the only reason why the 5.6.7.8s were in Kill Bill was because Quentin Tarantino heard one of their albums in the airport, actually, and bought the CD from the store.
Yeah, that sounds about right from what I've heard. Anyway, this is also has multiple paths. This is the top path that we're going through here. Oh, no, sorry. This is the bottom path. Excuse me. The top path is actually a shortcut that allows you to bypass all of this section. Although, this is pretty cool.
Well, that was a dirigible. That was some rather interesting graphics in the back there, looking at the wreckage of it.
Yeah. We may or may not be seeing another dirigible later in this video.
I admit a small bit of nostalgia for classic dirigibles, zeppelins, airships, whatever you want to call them in various settings. Partly because of the fact that one of the first games I played that had an airship was FF6, and partly because of the fact that I greatly enjoyed Crimson Skies when it came out.
Oh, you are going to love the second level in this video then. Yeah, so it's this lower path here. You got to go through the elevator. More enemies they have to fight. There's not much else unique there, so I'm gonna double back here and show off the top path, which we have to go through one of the propellers of the dirigible. This, I think, is the only time that particular kind of set piece shows up in the game. I'll have to double check. Also, this is me desperately trying to get the gun here. It just doesn't line up. Those hitboxes need to be wider. Also, if you listen very closely here, as Toshi picks it up... Oh, but first he has to die.
Congratulations, that was funny.
Hate guns.
Very quietly, Toshi says he hates guns. That is a character trait that never really comes up again.
Well, congratulations, you game overed on Toshi.
This is actually all footage from a failed take, which I left in because it was just such a perfect clusterfuck of this game's physics.
That'll leave a dent.
Yes, it will leave a dent. You're right, Lisa. So this is footage from a take where I actually succeeded here. You go up past these floaters, and you can basically skip all the fighting on the bottom.
So, good path to take if you're planning on speed, not so much if you need, say, salvage materials for various upgrades and shit.
Exactly. And this leads to the first of, unfortunately, many hold the line sequences. We'll be stuck in a room, taking on waves of enemies, which with this game's combat is not fun. Yeah, just playing it safe here with this Goon. Which is something I'm sure that many Something Awful mods have said over the years. Yeah, I will say that at the very least, one quality of life feature I really like for these sequences is that it gives you a giant yellow target showing where the enemies will spawn. Primarily because if you stand underneath them, like I'm about to do here, usually you die instantly, but I actually got lucky there. And here is the slow-mo power-up that I mentioned, which puts you and only you into slow motion.
I'm still not sure why that's useful.
I have no
It's
idea.
not. They fucked up on the code. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, like some of the others, there's invulnerability, there's bulletproof, which, yeah, that's the name for the invulnerability. You get unlimited ammo occasionally. There's a damage multiplier. There's an attack boost. There are some really useful power-ups, but slow-mo was not one of them.
I have to admit, I'm almost impressed at how that gun can keep firing without reloading once.
Here are some more incorrect subtitles.
I swear, I'll bust your chops.
Spread out. Have an idea, but you're not gonna like it.
Spread out.
Yeah, like you're pretending that they're in a formation.
What are you? Follow me, chickens! No heebie-jeebies! Hi-ya!
I can only assume they were working off of an older version of the script, or Randall's voice actor was allowed to improvise.
Usually it's a case of the script being revised after the fact and not calling in the voice actor in to do another take.
Of course not. That costs money.
So we'll be getting some upgrades for Lisa. Racer, that increases her overall speed. And then we're going to get one for her ultimate, which we haven't actually seen yet. It creates a massive fire tornado.
We have seen it a couple of times, actually. You've used it about 3 times so far.
Maybe you should be the one LPing this game.
No. I'm not going to inflict this game on me. I inflicted it on you for a reason.
Thank you for that, by the way.
So, Short Cruise is one of my favorite levels in the game. Again, it's short, there's a chase sequence, and it all takes place inside one of the dirigibles.
This is madness! This is awesome!
Oh, this is our ride now.
Graphically very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's same basic layout, but yeah, it's definitely more interesting than the usual gimmick.
Yeah, the secret is also right back here. It's an Insomniac secret.
For those that don't know the reference, an Insomniac secret is almost always a case of, have you looked behind you yet?
Brace yourselves.
Also, I love that shot. That is such a cool scripted sequence right there, blasting out of the dirigible. It's fast-paced. It's just the right amount of difficult. I cannot say enough good things about this level, which is something that's rare.
So basically, it's the moment where the developers actually struck gold.
Yeah, because they kept it short and they focused on a gimmick, almost like a Trials level. Huh, funny that.
There's just enough interesting stuff going on in the background, too.
And then there's physics smacking you in the face with that flat stop.
Well, I mean, nothing's perfect, but this is still a pretty great level overall.
Oh yeah, I'd probably say this is the highlight thus far.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the short levels much later on is also one of my least favorite, but we'll get to that later. So we also picked up the Tommy gun. That is the submachine gun equivalent. That one you get for free, regardless of how you did in this level.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, weapon unlocks like that are essentially global, so they start spawning.
There's a few of the later heavy ones that require like a few thousand points maybe, but nothing. It's usually not a challenge to get them. And so our protagonists decide that in their quest to stop the giant floating globe, they could go and do some shopping.
You might as well look good while you're doing it.
Anything broken? again. Let's do it again.
Randall continuing to be the best.
Where are we?
Cedar Mall. Come on, no lollygagging. We need to find an exit before the fire spreads.
I gotta get to J.C. Penney's before the sale ends. Yeah, this level is okay. I mean, it's certainly nowhere near as bad as Rooftops. That was truly atrocious.
Yeah, Rooftops was a slog.
Although you might have noticed that there's where we are here, one of the staircases is engulfed in flames. We'll have to turn on the extinguishers for that. On at least one occasion, I have run straight into the flaming part of the staircase during that initial cutscene.
I'm not surprised.
And this is probably my favorite enemy in the game, the Screamer. And the folks at Tate Media seem to agree, because they had a huge part of their marketing, for what marketing there was for Steel Rats, was focused on the Screamer. And they even had a Metalworks person commission, or they commissioned them to build a 1/10 scale Screamer to help promote the game.
I mean, looking in the background there, they basically have the equivalent of a bunch of them welded together as a surveillance unit.
Yeah, the Jukebox as a whoa, get out of there. The Jukebox as a whole are basically just random shit welded together.
No puzzle, just turn on the sprinkler system.
I mean, let's be honest, turning on the sprinkler system is pretty fucking disgusting most of the time, because they never filter it. So that water's been sitting there for 20, 25 years.
And for some reason, that other automated sprinkler was hidden in that other inferno. Anyway, this is the formerly on fire staircase.
Kind of impressive how there are no sprinklers in the stairwell, and yet they still managed to put out the fire on them.
Well, water travels fast, apparently.
It also travels up, apparently.
Yeah, of course. We have canonical evidence that gravity is just a suggestion. I tried going over to the right after the elevator. There's nothing there. Also, that's very mean. Putting some electricity immediately after a wall climbing section.
Holy shit! What is that thing? Well, at least now we know what shot down the dirigible.
Oh my god, it's using the Leonardo da Vinci cannon style from the tank blueprint he created.
Quick, while it's busy shooting, let's go for the generator.
Also, I've been entirely convinced that this was a separate machine, but no, that is the Killdozer.
Didn't like that.
At least according to the objective in the top right.
Well, I think you pissed him off.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that was a different machine.
Because when you first saw the Killdozer, you thought he was a giant crab, and only later in discussion after the fact, we figured it was more like a giant robot horse.
So, does that mean that every boss fight in this game is a crab battle?
Yes.
I also mentioned before that I felt that there was a weapon where the lock-on was specifically made worse as an attempt at making difficulty. It's the Tommy gun.
I'm not surprised.
It's one thing to already have a bad lock-on system, but then to do so intentionally. Not that way. Not that way. Okay, there we go. Oh god.
Good bounce.
Yeah, this is just a comedy of errors. Get through there. Come on! Why am I reacting like I'm recording this live? I don't know.
Probably because the game has driven you insane.
Yeah, I'm getting PTSD flashbacks to having to record this crap. Anyway, now we're going into, I think, the parking lot. This area has some scripted events that just don't seem to have been tested properly.
Like that.
Like this section coming up here, instant death because the ramp caught on fire at that exact moment.
Not tested properly, you don't say.
Yeah, there's actually some sequences later on where there are parts of linear chase levels where if you play as Lisa with the racer upgrade that increases her speed, parts of it just don't work.
Yeah, so basically the game breaks itself the fun way.
Yeah, Lisa is the only character in the game that has a faster movement speed. And there are parts of it where I was being incredibly frustrated, and then I switched to another character, and, well, it was still frustrating, but at least parts of it worked properly.
Well, at least we can agree that only parts of it will work properly.
Yeah, don't go into the fire, Randy. Come on.
I mean, he probably thinks he's hot stuff.
Oh, he absolutely does. He is the rasher big brother to Toshi, at least in spirit. He's the guy who has the confidence to pull off being as stupid as he is. Unlike Toshi, who really does not. You know, at this point, this LP is just turning into Toshi fanfiction. I think I'm okay with that.
Fresh air, finally.
Don't finish the level yet. We haven't collected the secret, which is a little bit back here.
Thank you, Insomniac.
And that's an Insomniac.
Yeah, exactly. And there we go. Surprisingly, that's the end of Chapter 2. It kind of ends anticlimactically, doesn't it?
I mean, it technically did have a boss fight, it's just not a real boss fight.
Yeah, if you're talking about the sequence with the turning off the, or getting the electric panel for the killdozer, yeah, that kind of does. There was the boss fight in World 3 is terrible, and I can't wait to show it off. It is much smaller in scale, like it's a biker versus biker kind of situation. And that's going to be interesting to see how that completely falls apart.
So basically it's the type of boss fight that everyone hates because it's a mirror match when everything's made of jank.
Well, it's trying to be like one of those Platinum Game rival fights. Like it's trying to be a Virgil or a Prince Vorkin or a Jean.
Link.
Yeah, or Jean from Bayonetta or something like that. But it doesn't work. But it's very funny.
Well, this will definitely be something to look forward to.